Alright guys, welcome back to today's video. Today we are going to do a couple things. Going to test out some new bushings and test out TPU printing. I've never been able to do that before, so I'll save my glare. Never been able to print TPU before, so I'm going to try that. And then we're going to print my bracket and put the bushing inside the bracket and see how it goes. The other thing we got going on as well is we got some heat certs, so we can finally try and print go and try and finalize the cluster for the Holley digital dash. And yeah, but you get to see me struggle in practice with heat certs. So without further ado, let me show you guys CAD real quick. So essentially we have my bracket here. This is redesigned to fit the bushing, and what we're going to do here is we're going to select the mating surface for it to go in, and then we'll see the little animation. There it goes. So with that being said, we're gonna go and print this. I went ahead and already got the profile set up in Bamboo Studio here, so this should be pretty easy to print. So we can go downstairs now and check it out. All right, we are back in the workshop. I got the TPU drawing right there, and then I got my heat cert kit here all set up. Let me show you guys what I've done so far with this today. So the TPU I've been drying in my Sunlu S2 dryer. We've been drying it for 6 hours now. We got it under 20%. Once this finishes up, we will try putting this into the printer. Now with TPU, you need to have a special, or you have to route it a certain way up here. So I printed this out overnight, and this is what the filament will sit on. It'll make more sense once we start doing that. But while that's finishing up, I've been practicing doing some heat certs. This is the heat cert tool. You can insert these little bushings or these little sleeves and inserts into your piece, and then you can use it to install hardware into it like this. So I'm going to set up the camera, and you'll see me guys put one in. Alright, so I got the hot end warming up here, and this is the sacrificial piece that we've been practicing on. I did this one and I realized that it's too small for my liking, and for holding up such a heavy device such as the Holley, we're actually going to step up to a bigger size. We'll bring it down a little bit, and then we'll just start letting it heat up the plastic, and then we will do the insert. There it goes. So gently, slowly, we press it in. Alright, we'll get it finalized here. This is just a proof of concept. Alright, so now we just let it cool, and we will test the part in here the bolt once it cools off. Sweet, much better. Everything sits pretty flush. I probably knew it would be like that. And then, yeah, now this is how it's actually supposed to look like. A good deal. While this thing's finishing up, let's go ahead and set up the printer to print that. So I'm gonna set you guys up, and we're gonna put the spool holder on top of there so we can start setting up the head to fit, or to have the correct feed path to it. So let's do that. So we need to edit the tool head up here. Some dust up here. So we're gonna remove this PTFE hose. We will set it over here for now. There we go, nice and round again. And this should go right in there. Perfect. All right, so whenever it's time, we will load it from here. All right, couple things I figured I'd show you guys while we wait. This is the test bracket that I made, and this is the test bushing out of PLA. This isn't rubber or anything. This is just regular plastic. This is also made out of PLA. There's a prototype. So if everything goes good, the TPU should just go in there like that. So waiting for that to finish up, and then in the meantime, I actually wanted to show you guys final prototype material versus regular ASA material. All right, so this is the ASA GF with glass fiber filament inside of it. You can see the surface finish is very nice. So we are going to plastic weld the seam right over here. Just a light plastic weld to hold the pieces together. So a plastic weld on the back and top. back on top there, and then a one at the bottom down there. Again, you will not see, you might see this seam when it's installed, but you won't see the back sides of it. And then again, the Holley dash itself is actually holding the pieces together, and these mounting brackets hold it together. The reason we just need to plastic weld it is just to keep it as one piece. That's just the limitation of the size of my printer. I cannot fit this in there. I cannot fit this in there as one piece. If I had a Solvol SOVOL 8 Max, you can fit this, but those are more like tinkering machines, and I don't have the space for something like that yet. So in the meantime, we will just plastic weld and do our best with it. All right, just finished plastic welding. Please do this with a mask, open the window, and I even have my vent up there and it's running air right now. Make sure you get the fumes, don't breathe in the fumes. Yeah, so I just finished closing the window and we plastic welded this, and I'm pretty sure you heard my commentary, but this part was warped. And I remember seeing that now in the print, it is warped by that much. See the edge right there? That shows us how much it warped. Now, this as a final prototype is good to know, but it has to be fixed. So next time I go to print this, I'm gonna glue down this section and I'll hold it down. Luckily, I've installed the other one, so in the truck, you don't see past here. So this area here will be hidden. Anyways, this has to be printed again. Like, I wouldn't give this to my friend that he's letting me prototype the truck, the piece on as a final piece, but this is just for like me to know. But I do know that up to here, the cowl, the original OEM one, goes to like down to here, and then this is now plastic welded. Other than that, yeah, like I said, the cowl covers most of this. Up until like here, it covers it. So I'll put up the photo, you'll see. But yeah. But other than that, it is now secure and it's one piece. Just realized the other way to combat this would be to cover this up. Maybe you can put your own vinyl or some plate on top of it, and that would combine these, or at least hide that seam better. This one just needs to be printed better. If there was just a line down here, I don't think many people would notice. But this one, I would probably prefer it to be covered with some sort of vinyl or something like that. I don't know. We got options. We're still prototyping this, but it's still this is a much affordable option than what the big guys are selling. Obviously, they're providing a much nicer piece and they have the capability, but this is just, I'm literally in my storage room trying to figure this stuff out for myself. Let's go ahead and put the heat certs into these guys and we'll put it all together. To here, I should have done this as two separate pieces to make this part easy, but you live and you learn. We're heating up this thing now. I'm going to increase the temperature just a little bit from 235 to 245. Dang, looks pretty good. Check it out. Let's test the mount on here real fast while these cool down. Actually, I should probably do the other side. Let these cool down. Alright, so here we go. Both of these are mounted up. This side needs a little bit more work with the heat certs. I have to make the holes, or at least the template where it goes, a little bit deeper and a little bit wider. But other than that, we got a bezel. This is the, I want to say maybe prototype before production model. Like, there's stuff you have to figure out. Like, you got the bed adhesion issues. We had to drill out some of the holes here to fit the bigger hardware for what I didn't design. Like, I designed for smaller, but when I saw these in like here in person, I was like, oh, I forgot how big this thing is sometimes. And then plastic welded this, and I mean, it's holding up. Like, a little stress test there, but again, don't forget, it's mainly the Holley keeping these two pieces together. This is just more to join them and keep everything in one piece. I would be completely comfortable running in the putting this in the truck right now and letting it do a couple prototype runs with it. But yeah, keep that here for now. We're gonna jump over and do the TPU stuff. I went ahead and reset it for another, it's been drying for another 2 hours, so our humidity is pretty low at 16%. So let's go ahead and take it out and put it in there, and we'll print the first bushing and see how it goes. I just took it out of the printer. It's pretty warm, which is good. Oh, lost the Salica packet. So that goes in here. I'm going to turn on the light to the printer so we can see. Oh yeah, you can see how like flimsy this stuff is compared to regular PLA and stuff like that. So we're going to manually feed it here. Yeah, we'll just manually feed it. Okay, so now we go in the printer. Yeah, TPU, it knows what's going on. Load. Let's see what it does. I've never had to load it like this before. Nice. Let me zoom out a bit so you guys can see the whole process. So, oh, and that's why we were testing it. It popped out of the socket. Okay, so now I know to maybe, hold on. There it goes. So now it's feeding, and it grabbed it. I felt it grab. So I'm gonna loop this back over. There we go. Yeah, this stuff is very like loose and rubbery. So grab new filament. It's heating up now. I felt it grab it, and you saw the wheel spin. So we're doing good here. Waiting for this to hit 220. So I'll get back once it hits that. All right, now it's grabbing new filament. You can see it rotating right there. It's that's the extruder gear. It's grabbing the filament and pulling it in, and then you can see it right down there. It's purging. Oh, it detected. Oh, I know. I thought it detected me in there. Yes, I see it. So it was pushing it through. Now it's going to heat up all the way, and it's going to purge the old filament in there. So we printed PLA earlier. It's going to print this stuff now. Okay, we have sent the print there. Don't need to do a time lapse for this. Door's closed. Well, it doesn't matter. This whole thing's open. And then next, different fit. Yeah, I already did that. External print. All right, let's see how it goes. I'll check back in. It'll be about 30 minutes roughly. Yeah, we got an ETA of 32 minutes. So we'll see how this does. All right, I think we're about halfway through. Oh no, we got 2 minutes left. Nice, and there's the bushing right there. Doesn't look too bad. Can't wait to test it out. Doesn't look too stringy or too melty or anything. So yeah, I'll pick it up in a minute here and see what it looks like. See what it looks like on the top. Yeah, the final bushings will be in black, but I just had white TPU on hand, so we're gonna try it out. All right, very impressed with how this came out. So this is the TPU, nice and squishy material. Goes in here, nice. I tried drilling out the original bracket, but it didn't work. I made the hole too big, but this is the idea. This is before I made this change. This bracket hasn't been printed in this material yet. It's gonna look like this, but gotta fix the logo. But yeah, very, very impressed with how this came out. This stuff is good. Snaps right into place. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for today. We are now going to unload the TPU to print a box for a friend that needed a mock-up box. So go here, show you guys real quick what it looks like. He wanted this box because he's fabricating some parts of his car, and he needed this because he hasn't bought the battery yet. So I said, hey man, I'll just make it for you, but we gotta leave it running because it's gonna take about 5 hours to print. Just some PLA, nothing crazy, but I'll show you guys this in the beginning of the next video. But that's all for today. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.